Episode 8, Chapter 22, The Portrait. Evie's studio, late the next evening, warm lamplight, canvases propped along the walls, unfinished portraits, gentle landscapes, a few shrouded in linen. The scent of oil and turpentine hung in the air. Outside, the spring wind gathered strength. She was proud of the work for Blackhaven House. Lady Elizabeth's portrait in particular, she'd poured care into it for Amelia. The right balance, comfort, peace, remembrance. She'd even managed to temper Julian's portrait for the gallery, keeping her gift carefully leashed. But that restraint left her restless. Her hands had refused a second portrait at first. But tonight, as wind rolled across the grounds, something within her would not be contained. She couldn't get him out of her thoughts. She'd never felt so seen, and never felt so frightened at the same time. Evie stood before the blank canvas, restless, hesitant, brush poised mid-air. You've painted this Duke before. Maybe you'll forget him after. She looked down at her palette. Ochre, vermilion, cerulean blue, carefully blended for what lived in her mind's eye. The first stroke, uncertain, then sure, deliberate, dragged cerulean across the stark white. Ochre followed, grounding the warmth of a man she'd recognize anywhere. Each colour began to form the moments they'd shared. Insignificant to an outsider, perhaps, but moments that bound them together. The smell of oil paint and linen filled the studio as imagination became reality under her hand. But every colour seemed to betray her. No hue was quite right, not for the light caught in his expression, nor for the warmth in his eyes. She painted from memory, his profile beneath the trees, the faint smile for his niece, the half-turn when he sensed her there. Each moment played through her mind, and she relaxed into them. How does one paint without restraint when restraint has become survival? This wasn't choice, it was breathing. Her gift, her mother called it. A burden her father never dared name. Now it hummed beneath her skin, unbidden. Her hand trembled as she painted his eyes. In her own brushwork she saw not a likeness, but an understanding, as though the canvas remembered that moment in the gardens. He was there again, the warmth, the quiet ache, the longing. Outside. Wind gusted. The shutters knocked. Click-knock, click-knock, and the candle flames danced. By the time Evie stepped back, the portrait was no longer merely the Duke. It was Julian St. Clare in the moment between them, captured not in likeness, but in truth. She dropped her brush, breathing unsteadily, backing away. Oh, Evie, what have you done? No one else would see the danger in what she painted, but she did. For the first time since Florence, the gift she'd buried had awakened fully, and it had chosen him. Chapter 23. The brushstroke that shouldn't have been. The candles burned low, their light trembling in gold over a half-covered canvas. Evie stood before it, hands shaking, a single tear at the palette's edge. Her mother, Duchess Olivia Wynthem, entered quietly. She stopped just inside the door, watching her daughter's shoulders shake, then crossed the room. Darling, you've been here since before supper. Your father says the light from your window reached the street. Mama, I shouldn't have finished it. Then why did you? because I couldn't stop. Olivia stepped closer. Evie moved aside, revealing the portrait beneath the gauze. Julian, vivid, alive, his eyes filled with a storm that moved without wind. Olivia drew a sharp breath. Ah, you've done what all true artists fear. Evie's voice broke. I've bound him. Mamma, his eyes, they see me, even now. Olivia pulled her close. No, darling, you see him, and yourself. That is what frightens you. Evie turned, desperate. But what if I've done to him what I did in Florence? What if I've pulled something from him? Something that shouldn't have left? Olivia cupped her daughter's face. My sweet girl. Love and fear share the same root. Only the heart decides which blooms. It isn't love, Mama. I don't know him well enough. I only painted what I felt. Look at him, truly look, without fear. Olivia's voice softened. That is love, Evangeline. Perhaps not the worldly kind, but the rarest, the seeing kind. It frightens us because it demands truth. There is no hiding. Then what if he sees me too? Olivia smiled tenderly. Then maybe you won't have to keep hiding. Her mother's words lingered like the fading hum of a harp string, gentle but trembling with power. Outside, the rain began again, soft against the glass. Chapter 24. The Shifting Light. 1 week later, morning light filtered through 2 worlds, one of quiet reflection, the other of restrained longing. Julian stood before the window in his brother's library, letters unopened on the desk. The sunlight had just broken through the clouds and reflected in his eyes like memory. Gabriel looked over at him. You've read the same page 3 times. Julian smiled faintly. 4. You're distracted. Gabriel studied him with softened curiosity. I thought the portraits freed you from ghosts. They did. They also reminded me that not all ghosts are to be forgotten. Gabriel let it rest. His brother's heart was clearly elsewhere. Then I hope she's worthy of what she's stirred. Julian's gaze shifted toward the light outside. His tone was steady but low. I think it's I who must prove worthy.
Thank you for listening. We are so pleased for you to join us on our journey. Our story is a multiple-episode Regency romance novella, so please do subscribe for next week's episode. The writer thanks you in advance for your comments, notes, and suggestions as we hope to improve with each episode and with each story. Until next time, may your days be filled with kindness and love.